And welcome back to ABC-7 Extra Sunday. Our topic tonight, the present and future of El Paso malls. Our guests tonight are Cindy Folk, the Director of Marketing and Business Development at Cielo Vista Mall, and Jonathan Valenzuela, the mall's General Manager. We are also getting responses from West Miller, the President of Centergy Retail LLC, which owns the fountains at Farrah. He answered our questions in an email. Cindy, you've seen a lot of different stores come and go at Cielo Vista Mall over the years. How do you attract and maintain retail businesses at the mall?
Well, I'm going to hand that over to Jonathan and let him answer. That's a little bit his forte as to what he does there, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there are a lot of ways that we accomplish that. And one of the significant ways that really have an impact is the short-term leasing program that we have, headed by Elizabeth Marks. And she just has a gift for identifying the best talent in terms of entrepreneurial spirit and abilities within the market. And so one of the tenants that I'd really like to highlight is a tenant called Uphead Sneakers and Tea. They started as a temporary special leasing tenant and then were converted over to a permanent tenant, and they've done really well with Gen Z. Something I'm really excited to celebrate. They have a offering of sought after rare sneakers, and then they also have some of the best boba tea in the area, and that really resonates with that generation. I know my son asked me to take him there pretty regularly, you know, so they know him. And that's just a really good example. They also have really great social media presence, really engaging and sometimes hilarious content. So we're always looking for these kinds of tenants. Anyone who is interested or knows of someone, has a really great business concept that could be a good fit, I'd encourage them to reach out to us and we get them in contact with Liz.
Yeah. All right, and West Miller said when it comes to the fountains at Farrah, quote, through our retailer relationships and marketing efforts, but most importantly, when retailers and restaurants tour El Paso, the center speaks for itself. Just the design, tenant mix, and volume of traffic we generate creates demand. So how do you bring in a new store to the mall? Do they approach you? Are you actively seeking new retailers to come in? How does that work?
Well, our director of leasing, Michael Kastner, really leads those conversations. So, and these aren't conversations that just kind of spur out of nowhere. These are ongoing relationships that are fostered. One of the most interesting and impressive people you can ever have a conversation with. Think of any brand that's either niche or up and coming or, you know, is well established. He has connections with whoever handles their leasing, and those conversations absolutely happen continuously. It is important that we're always mindful of having the right mix for our center and our market. And one of the great problems to have in this industry is what we have, which is we are consistently at capacity or very close to it. So when you think of a great concept that we'd want to bring in, there are always a lot of people involved. There's moving pieces. They're complex conversations, but they're continuously happening. And really happy to be working with such a talented individual that handles these kinds of things.
And we asked West Miller with the Fountains of Farrah about their approach. He said, we typically market to the retailers and restaurants, but occasionally they will tour El Paso and can't help but notice our venue. Now, Cindy, are there stores on the must-have list? Are there stores that mall customers have said, gee, I really wish you had this?
I mean, we constantly on our social media, you know, that is something that we're always listening to, what our shoppers are commenting on, or, you know, tagging us, or again, you know, letting us know what they'd like to see in the market. But I would say that, you know, like Jonathan mentioned, our director of leasing and our short-term leasing rep that we work with do an excellent job of always communicating with us, listening to our feedback, and you know, we're constantly looking at what's going to separate us and give us that advantage. And again, that is something that Simon's always been very good about, because, you know, we're always at the forefront of change, and that's what that's what's kept this center going for the past 50 years.
And Wes Miller with the Fountains at Ferris said to us, quote, "We are always tuned in to what the general public would like to see in the way of retail and restaurants, and we market accordingly, and it's why we've brought in so many first-time and single-unit tenants to El Paso. For example, Nordstrom Rack, Grimaldi's, Kona Grill, Ruth Chris Steakhouse, Total Wine, to name a few, and first stores to the market such as Dick's Sporting Goods, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Cavender's, Woodhouse Day Spa, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Twin Peaks, Rack Room, DXL, Carter's, Oshkosh, and a whole host of others too, many to name. El Paso and other retail developers have been a benefactor of the Fountains, luring first-time tenants to do multiple stores in El Paso." All right, Jonathan, I want you to look into your crystal ball now.
Okay.
Where do you see Cielo Vista Mall in 5 years down the road, or even 10 years down the road?
So I want to crystal ball this, but I'll also, if I could start by painting somewhat of a broad picture of the current landscape of the industry and what I see for the future of it, and then kind of zero in on how that pertains to Cielo Vista. So the retail industry is continuously changing, and it changes based on customer needs. And it's really our responsibility and the responsibility of our retailers to understand what those needs are. And through that lens and through that mindset of always needing to understand where the customers are and meeting them where they are, there are two major, I say, themes that stand out in terms of the present and future of the retail industry. And the first one is the ongoing evolution of technology and how retailers integrate that into their customer service strategies. There are many great examples to include virtual stores, virtual appointments, clienteling done in a digital, modern way. And then the other theme that I would highlight is the concept of storytelling. And this is a technique that's meant to inspire imagination. A lot of retailers are using it to differentiate themselves from other concepts. And customers really feel tied into the brand and the story being told when this is done in an effective way. And I think the future of retail is going to even more so integrate these things into how they elevate their experiences. And so when I look ahead for the future of Cielo Vista Mall, we're definitely looking for the best retailers, as we always are. And these are things that we pay attention to. Who's going to elevate the experience for the customer and make them want to shop us for years and years to come? One that we're very excited about right now is Primark. It's about a year out as of right now, but this is going to be very impactful and have a significant presence within our center for years to come.
All right, and Wes Miller looked into his crystal ball and told us, quote, "Because of the magnitude of retail traffic at the intersection of Hawkins and I-10, we see the Fountains getting better and better and could be one of the premier centers in the state. Both Cielo Vista Mall and the Fountains at Ferris are always upgrading the tenant mix and ensuring our assets are the best El Paso has to offer in the way of retail, and should continue to be the best retail intersection for locals and visitors to El Paso." Cindy Fote, Jonathan Valenzuela of Cielo Vista Mall, I thank you all for coming on ABC-7 Extra Sunday. And we also thank Wes Miller with the Fountains at Ferris for his responses to our questions. Still ahead, Adam Frank, the president of River Oaks Properties, the company behind 2 of El Paso's power centers and many other strip malls, shares his thoughts on the present and future of El Paso malls. You're watching ABC-7 Extra Sunday.